Welcome to the Thriving Immigrant podcast with Paul Adeyeye. This is where we share powerful stories of resilience, reinvention, transformation, and success. So, whether you're a new immigrant, navigating a new life, or an aspiring entrepreneur looking for inspiration, this podcast is for you. Join me as we dive into real conversations with incredible individuals who have turned challenges into opportunities. Let's learn, grow, and thrive together. Cheers to a life of abundance. This is the Thriving Immigrant Podcast, and this is Paul Adeyeye. I'm excited about today's conversation. I've got an amazing guest on the show. It's not every time you meet a dentist, it's not every time you know a dentist. So I know quite a number of doctors, but I know very few dentists, not just dentists, but a dentist in Canada. My guest today is Dr. Dami. She's a dedicated dentist and immigrant who has built a thriving career in Canada's dental field. From navigating the challenges of moving into a new country, the process of getting her license, to the point where she has now built trust with patients and maintaining healthy smiles. Dami brings both heart and expertise to everything she does. She's a fantastic individual. Join me in welcoming Dr. Dami Edun to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. Drum rolls.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Wow, that's a great introduction, but thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
I'm
Finally.
excited to have you. Welcome, Dr. Dami. Welcome.
Yes,
And I
thank you.
can't wait
Thank
to
you so
dive
much.
into this conversation because I
Yeah.
feel like apart from all the things you're going to share, we may also enjoy some free consultation.
Ah, hmm. Okay. I don't
Like,
do free consults, but okay.
you may give us some tips,
Like
some
free tips, of course,
free
of course,
tips.
of
So,
course.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, of course.
you are
Yes.
ready for it. So, welcome to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. Do you want to
Thank
tell us a
you.
little bit about your immigration journey?
It's been a long and tedious one, but I just thank God for how far I've come. I guess my immigration journey started in 2017. I did the whole process by myself. When I did it, I want to say it was probably not as popular to Jackba. Do you understand? So when I did my own application, I didn't even tell anyone. I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't tell my friends, my family, nobody. Because at that point, I'm like, is this a scam? Or is this like for real? You understand? But I knew that I knew a friend at that time in Canada who had done his, but it was just not very popular. So you know how it's kind of thing where you just do it quietly so that if it doesn't turn out well, you just chop your L privately, you understand? So that was what it was. And I did, and I got it, and I was like, okay, wow, okay, this is happening for real. Got myself ready, traveled down here. Luckily, I had family down here in Ontario.
Okay.
So I would say I had like a soft landing, but still, even with a soft landing, there's still unique challenges that come to you as an immigrant. So I went through the whole teething stage. I call it teething stage because I feel like it's just unique to the first 2, 3 years when you just land. That just unique challenges that you have trying to settle in different work culture, different culture in general, just meeting people, trying to get into the workspace, just trying to find your footing basically, right? So that took me a second, but I would say it was quicker because I had family here.
Hmm.
And then right after, I wouldn't even say one thing that I probably would have done differently was probably give myself more time to settle in. Because I feel like after the first 6 months that I got here, I started pursuing my license. And so that also came with its own unique challenges because, again, you're not fully settled. You're trying to get into something. It was a lot, right? So, but it worked out. And here we are today. But yeah, it's been a long journey, but I thank God.
Congratulations. I think it's
Thank
a
you.
very remarkable thing.
Yeah.
Like I said when I introduced, I don't know so many dentists. I know
Mm,
very few,
mm-hmm,
and I'm not. I don't have the number, but I think
mm-hmm,
it's very rare to find a typical immigrant in that
mm.
space. It might be
Really?
because you are a dentist, so you are
Yeah,
probably
maybe
probably have. I know
common.
more immigrant doctors.
Okay.
I know a lot of immigrant pharmacists,
Okay.
but dentists. Mm. So you are unique in your
Paul,
space.
I need to introduce my people. You need to know my people
I
because
need
there
to
are
know your
quite a number of
people.
us. Yes.
Interesting. I
There are
okay.
quite a number of
Of
immigrants, and then I mean you're right in the sense that maybe because it's my field, because I feel like we have our own community.
interesting.
It's probably not it's not a structured community like okay, like this is a community, but it's just like you just know people, everybody knows one person or the other. You might not know them in person, but you might just have heard this person, and then we all just like pass the information around. So there are quite a number of immigrant dentists. Like, so I guess you have to,
Expand my
come over
network.
to my own side of things,
I guess I
expand
need
your
to expand
network.
my network.
Yes, you probably need to, yes.
Yeah. So you've been in Canada for almost a decade.
Mm,
If you
yeah, almost a decade, like
um
8 years.
like 8 years, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
8 years.
long
Yeah,
time.
that's a long time.
Were you practicing dentistry in Nigeria before
Before I came
moving?
over, yeah, I was practicing for like 4 years before I
Okay.
came over here. Yes. So it was so I mean, and like I said, that's one of the things that I probably done differently. That I probably give myself time to settle down before going straight into the because when I came, because I was already pursuing my licensing exam, I was forced to do like not hosting jobs, but like jobs that maybe nobody I would have done.
Right.
Like you understand? Because it then took me a minute to get back into like working in dental workforce. So I would do like warmer jobs and things like that. So that would mess with my identity a little bit
Hmm.
because it's like you practice for 4 years as a dentist, dentistry is all you know, and here you are in a customer service job. You know,
Hmm.
that messes with your head a little bit. And I don't think a lot of immigrants aware or acknowledge that that is also part of the experiences that you have. You kind of have like an identity crisis a little bit. And then you have people telling you, what are you doing here? And then, because dentistry is all you know, right? So it just comes up in your conversation with people. It's not like you're even bragging, you're just talking
Yeah.
about it. And it's like, what are you doing here? What are you, is,
How did you find yourself here?
how do you're not even like a failure.
I
You don't feel like you're
know.
a failure. So yeah, I practice a bit. But I would say that that probably helped me to probably like it helped my transition into dentistry here
Okay.
because after I did my licensing exam, there are a lot of things that you're not taught in school. There are things that you pick up from experience, like how to talk to patients, how to manage patients' expectations, how to just manage patients that are difficult. Those
Hmm.
are things that you pick up from experience. And so for me, I would say that that has really helped me now that I'm practicing dentistry in Canada. But yeah, I practiced for 4 years. I know I don't look like it because
It's okay. I don't want to go into that conversation like you practice for 4 years, you'll be here for okay. Let's leave it. My math is rusty for now. It's okay.
okay, okay.
Okay, so and I get what you are trying to say. I kind of understand where you are coming from, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like professionals, regulated professions like
Mm-hmm.
medicine,
Mm-hmm.
like engineering, like
Yeah.
dentistry,
Mm-hmm.
those professionals they go through some unique challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and it requires extra mental stamina for
Yeah,
them to survive that stage.
I
It's
agree. Yeah.
different from a traditional professional, maybe somebody that is
Mm-hmm.
into sales,
Mm-hmm.
finds himself in Canada, he knows what to do right away,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
starts applying. But in your
Mm-hmm.
case, in cases of professionals like you guys,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing is you are not eligible to practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now you need to find a way to start the process.
Yeah.
At the same time, you also need to pay your bills.
Mm. Fact.
So you have to jump on any opportunity
That comes. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comes.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are even family people. They come here with kids.
Mm.
That means they also need to give their time to their children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at that journey, sometimes the people that you come, the people that you arrive in Canada at the same time,
Mm.
it looks like they've made some tremendous
More progress.
progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
In
that's
four,
true.
5 years, you are still trying to get your license.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's a
true.
unique situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to give you your flowers
Oh, thank you.
and other professionals that have gone through this stage.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tough because I know
It's
that
yeah. Mm-hmm.
not everyone eventually get
To the end, to the
to
finish
the
line.
end, to the finish line.
No,
Not
no,
everyone.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts, you're right. Because like, and just like one thing you just said now, how that when you kind of like measure the progress of other people that came with you and are not in your field, how far they've gone. That was another thing I dealt with too, because I feel
Hmm.
like at some point, maybe when I probably before I went, probably before I got admission, I literally sat down and thought about like, okay, people that came in with me, they bought a house, they bought a car, and then you are here just
Still
spending
studying.
so much money doing this, doing that. It got to the point where I was like, you know what, all this money I'm spending, I can at some point I'm like, I could have made a down payment towards a house. It is that expensive, right? So
Hmm.
you're right. Like, and that's another thing where you just have to like suck it up. And you're like, you know what, okay, we're on different parts and it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
I would say that now, now that I'm practicing, I would say that I'm probably now feeling like, you know, like when I came in, I just went into the whole process immediately. I didn't really get to experience Canada or
Hmm.
just having that, okay, you arrived in Canada experience because I felt like I was just working on one thing or the other, one pole or the other. So now that I came back, from the US and I came back here, I'm now experiencing and enjoying Canada. I feel like my life was on hold for so long
Hmm.
and now I'm experiencing. Do you understand? So I feel like a lot of people are not aware of it. They don't acknowledge the mental part of it as well, where it's like it's mentally challenging as well. Seeing other people progress, make progress in life. They're buying houses, they're buying cars, they're doing this, they're doing that, and you are just like stuck in this space. It can be a lot.
It can be. It can be.
Yeah, yeah, it can be a lot.
Right. But congratulations. Like, here
Thank
you
you.
are. And I'm sure 3 years or 3, 4, 5 years from now, you're gonna look back and you'll be glad. I'm sure you are glad that you made it
Oh,
already.
I'm good. Of course.
You should be glad. You should be proud.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say that all the things that you think you've lost,
Mm,
you would recover them
in a short
in a few
period.
years. Yeah,
Yeah,
you will
yeah,
recover them
I
in a
agree.
short period.
I agree. I agree.
From my experience too, I feel like professions that require license to practice are one of the
Mm-hmm.
most secure professions in this part
Mm,
of the world.
yeah, that's true.
So, and life is not always linear. You
Mm,
might be lucky to have your challenges early in life.
mm-hmm.
You might have your own in midlife. You might
Yeah,
have yours later in life.
later in life, true.
But challenges are part of the journey.
Yeah,
But
I
those
agree.
people that have the regular traditional jobs, some of them
Mm-hmm.
will have ups and downs. Like
Later on,
they
yeah.
lose jobs, they get another one,
Mm-hmm.
they move on. Not like I'm
Yeah.
trying to say you won't have any other challenge again.
No, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah. But now you are
yeah.
licensed, your job
Mm-hmm.
is technically secured. Like
Secure. Yeah,
you have that security. You
yeah.
mentioned that you came from the US. I'm curious. So, did you go to school in the US?
Oh my God, Paul, I've been around. Like one of my patients says, because I have my bio up in my clinic, and one of my patients came in and said, "You've been around. You've been all over the world."
You've been everywhere. So, please tell us about it. You had to
Um,
travel to the US before
yes.
getting your license?
Yeah. So, maybe I should so like the licensing process in Canada is like basically you do either the exams. Actually, you take the first exam and then that opens you up to either of the pathways. Like you do all the exams or you go back to school. Now they're already talking about a third pathway. I hope that goes well. But I was literally in that whole cycle for 2 years trying to get into school, writing my exams, and I just felt like I wasn't making a headway. And then at that time, a couple of my friends just came from Nigeria and they didn't even just have the patience to deal with Canadian equivalent. Like the Canadian boards can be quite tedious, I'm not gonna lie. Not even the reading part, just the whole process doing that. So they just didn't have the patience for that. So they were like, you know what, Dami, let's all try the US together. And we did, and we all got into schools like just one try. You understand? So that was what I eventually did. I then went to school in the US, and then after that, and then I came back to practice here. So yeah, that's what my journey I've been around the world. Yes.
Okay, I see. So
Yeah.
it's going to the US is like a shorter route to getting your license. Is that it?
It's not that it's a shorter route. It's also like, so like I told you in Canada, you can apply to get seats in school, right?
Okay.
And once you go to school for 2 years, 3 years, 2.5 years, just depends on the school. And then after that, you're then eligible to write the licensing exam
Okay.
and then get a license. The other pathway is you write a couple of exams that will make you eligible to take the licensing exam. So you can go either way. The reason the challenge that most people find in meet in Canada, and which was the same thing that happened to me, is there are very few seats. I was set on going to school. Like if I just wanted to write the exams, I could have just wrote the exams and be done with that. But I
I
wanted
see.
to go to school.
School.
I had my own career goals. So I wanted to go back to school. Like literally, as of when I did my own application cycle, there were five schools that were having the international dentist program, and then maybe like one school had like two seats, one seat, and just ridiculous, basically.
5 schools in the whole of Canada?
Five dental schools that had the international dentist program,
Right.
right? And then one school will probably have one seat or two seats. And then you have like 1,000 people that are trying to get into those stores. It can be quite challenging.
Yeah.
So, but whereas in the US, you probably have like maybe roughly 30 to 40 dental schools, and then one school maybe has like 20 seats or 10 seats,
Hmm.
you
I
know.
see.
So that was kind of why I tried the US. The US, so my program was 2.5 years. There are some schools where it's 3 years, some schools are 2 years. So it's not like it's shorter. It's just that there's a higher chance of
Chance
you
of
getting
being
a
getting
slot.
admitted.
Yeah, because there are more like chairs or more seats for candidates. Because the thing is, they're merging you with their not national students, like those that start from 100 level up. So they're merging you with that class. So they don't really have the opportunity to have many students in the school per
Right.
per set, right? So they go by number of seats.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was why I went to the US and I got in, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Maybe that's what God wants me to do.
Right. I
Yeah,
understand now. Thank you for
yeah,
sharing that. So,
yeah.
is it more expensive going
Ah,
to the US than
of
staying back in
course.
Canada?
It's more expensive now because the tuition is in USD.
USD.
So by the time you convert to Canadian dollars, of course, that's more. It's definitely more expensive. And then, of course, so for me, I went there by myself. Like, I didn't go with my family or my husband. So then you also have to calculate expenses of living by yourself, getting your own place, as opposed to if I was here,
Hmm.
we already settled in here, right? So you have to calculate all those expenses. And then also with the US, you also have to like if you're not a US citizen, you can't just get like a government loan to go
Yeah,
to
that's
school.
true.
You have to get like a private loan lender, and then that comes with you having to now get a cosigner. And
It's like buying a house.
it's like buying a house. That's the right
Wow.
word. It's like buying a house. So it's definitely more expensive because now I'm back here. I'm practicing and and I'm making my money in Canadian dollars, and I'm
Hmm.
paying a loan in USD. So it's
USD.
expensive, but I mean, that was the option that I had, and I just took it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I see. So
yeah.
we must do everything we can do to protect Canadian dollars because you are owing in USD. Maybe when you took that loan, maybe it was 1 to 1.3. You don't want to pay back when it's 1 to 1.5.
No, 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 no. We want to make sure everything is okay. But of course, like I would at some point I'll probably move my loan down here. Like I just have to sit down, settle, and then talk to like my financial people,
Yes.
like to move it down here. But I mean, but there are some programs where it's actually maybe the same fee or the same tuition with a Canadian school, but it's just
Okay.
like USD Canadian, different. You understand? So it might even be the same cost, maybe 250 there, 250 here, but it's 250K USD as
Be
opposed to
250K
50K Canadian
card.
dollars. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for educating me. Now
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
thinking. So if you are listening to this podcast and you are thinking you want to study dentistry, you want to become a dentist, you may want to connect with Dr. Dami Edun. She's on Instagram. She's going to share Instagram handle before the end of the show. And if you are
Okay.
listening for the first time, you may want to subscribe and share this episode with
Mhm.
someone so you
Yeah.
can get notified when new episodes drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you now, Dami, since you practiced
Hmm.
for a while in
Hmm.
Nigeria and now
Hmm.
you've been practicing in Canada, are
Okay.
there any significant difference in the mode of
Hmm.
practice that you've noticed between Nigeria? I know it's been a while. It's been,
Honestly, this
it-
question I asked me, I have to think.
it's been a while. I'm not sure if you even remember how you practiced in Nigeria.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure there is, right? Because let's even start with the basic stuff, like even the instruments, like
Yeah.
the equipments are different. I remember when I did, like for example, something like I don't know if you've ever heard of a root canal before,
Yes.
right? So when I was practicing in Nigeria, I felt like it was blind dentistry in the sense that I mean compared to the equipment that are here,
Mm.
I now consider it blind dentistry because here the equipment you have are actually guiding you as you're going in. You can measure different things. Yes, and so now looking back, it's like wow.
What
That
were you
was
doing?
blind dentistry.
What were you
But
even
the
doing?
funny thing is you will still get the same results. So
Mm.
I feel like practicing dentistry taught you how to be smart with
Absolutely.
smart because the thing is sometimes like for example like when you put in a file there's a tug you feel and that's how we did our own in Nigeria. So
Mm.
now in addition to the equipment, so sometimes when your equipment are failing or you just know that you can feel something. So you're looking at that equipment like, this result you're giving me is not
It's
it.
not it.
It's not it. Do you understand? So in a way, it kind of is a good balance, but you definitely have more equipment here for sure. You have more equipment, more gadgets, and then it's a good thing because the patients here are more aware
Right.
of dentistry. They can go, people do internet
Internet
medicine now.
sto-
Then so they go online, they check stuff. You understand? So you yourself, you have to be on
on your
point. You have to be on your game.
game.
You
Yeah.
understand? Because when a patient comes in and they're asking you questions, you have to answer. You have to show
Hmm.
them you know what you're doing or what you're talking about. So the patients here are very aware. Um, that's one thing. Two, the patients back home are not as committed to their oral care. And I'm hoping that that changes at some point because I know when I was practicing, most times patients just come in one or two days hurting. And then, at that point, you can't even save the tooth, you have to pull it out,
Right.
But the thing is, your tooth always gives you signs. There are
Hmm.
always signs, things you can see before it gets to the point where you start having symptoms, start having pain. So the patients here are definitely more aware and more committed to that oral care. So you hear people saying things like, "Oh, I need to go see my hygienist," or "I need to go see my dentist." It's like going to like see your medical doctor and things like
Yeah.
that. But back home, people prioritize their medical care. You know,
Than
and even
oral.
that is not still 100%, but it's a bit better as opposed to their dental care. So most times when I'm talking to people, they're like, "Oh, it's too expensive to go and wash my teeth," or
Teeth.
but it's like these things will save you, and help you keep your teeth together and keep your teeth in your mouth as opposed to like losing so many teeth. So it's slightly different. And then of course, like here, you know, there are certain like there's a way we do our dentistry where it has to be is evidence-based dentistry.
Hmm.
So whatever you're doing, you always have to have that mindset of if I have to defend what I'm doing, it's based on clinical research or based on clinical evidence. I
I
don't
see.
know that we really have that in Nigeria. I mean,
Maybe now.
maybe now, yeah, I mean, of course, the way they taught us dentistry, I would assume it was evidence-based, but even things like the burrs that we use to like cut a cavity, it has to be like a certain shape. Whereas that's not what we're using in Nigeria. So I'm hoping things have progressed. I'm hoping things have improved. This is my experience. I don't know about any other person's experience, but I feel like more of the things you do here are evidence-based because anyone can just sue.
Mm,
So you need to, I mean, at least when I do my dentistry, I do it in such a way where I can defend what I'm doing. It's
of
based on
course.
clinical research, clinical evidence, and things like that. So yeah, quite a number of differences, but I would say that maybe the patients in Nigeria are probably like more patient, less entitled,
Mm,
and maybe kinder,
mm.
where it's, and I think it's just probably just our culture
Our
where it's
culture,
like,
yeah.
I think just our
Doctor,
culture where people just tend to not take things too far. You understand?
I
Here,
see.
you could just maybe, I don't know, maybe you decide not to smile at your patient's joke and the person could take offense and then write a complaint. It's you
I-
find ridiculous
They are
people.
that petty.
Yeah, people can be repent. And then the thing is also people, you also have people here who are trying to get rich real quick. So you find that sometimes people just target healthcare professionals because you're trying to sue them for money and things like get like a quick
Mm,
money grab. I feel
yeah,
like that's not something that is in our culture. I feel like we're more forgiving, we're more patient. So
right.
there are differences here and there. Yeah, for sure.
Mm. Yeah, you made so many valid points. Interesting. So, talking about so many things that you even said. And I
Mhm.
love the first one where you mentioned about the difference in the mode of practice in
Mhm.
Nigeria and here in Canada.
Yeah.
How that fosters creativity, kind of like being
Yeah.
able to think outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
and I think that's an advantage for you guys. It's an
Oh, of
advantage.
course. Of course.
Exactly. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
for someone that's been trained with particular tools all his life, more like someone doesn't know that you can use this on your
Mm.
own, just feels
Mm-hmm.
like every time you need to do something, you have to use this particular tool.
Exactly. Exactly.
But in a case where that tool is not available, you know what else to do, the
Yeah.
substitute,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a
That's
big
true.
plus.
That's
Makes
true.
sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
talking about awareness of the patient here, because of
Mm-hmm.
course it's because they are aware. That's how, or that's why they know that they can make some money by
Yeah.
suing doctors.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate with everything you've said about how Nigeria is still developing in that
Mm-hmm.
space. I know
Yeah.
how people see dental care as maybe cosmetics,
Mm-hmm. Or something for the rich.
something for the rich. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
now person we don't chop belle food na go dey.
Exactly.
And people only
Exactly.
go to see their dentist when they are going through extreme pain,
Pain.
when they've
Exactly.
tried other means
Other things.
and it's not working. There's this thing they
Mm-hmm.
call touch and go. Do you know touch and go?
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? I have no touch and go. As in, and sometimes I'm like, only if you know what you're doing to
Do
yourself,
it
you're
to
making things
yourself.
worse for yourself. Yeah, I know touch and
Yeah.
go. Yes. Yeah.
Hmm. And I think there are a lot of government support too for
Mm-hmm.
dental care.
Yeah.
Little things that encourages people to visit their
Yeah.
dentists, like
Yeah. Yeah.
work benefits,
Mm-hmm.
access to good dental clinics. Almost
Yeah.
every community will
Has.
have a
Mm-hmm.
good number of dental clinics. So access
Yeah.
to is
That's true.
important.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And I think just like you said, the insurance thing is a huge plus.
It is.
Yes, I find, and then even now the government also, like, how we have OHIP. Now the government has set up like a government insurance also for dental care. I mean, not
Mm.
everyone is eligible for it, but it's good in the sense that now you see older people who are
People,
retired who can still get dental work done. I mean, there's a downside to it still, but at
because you guys
least,
will get more busy.
Yeah, no, not even that, because with the government insurance, of course, there's this whole talk about, because so in Ontario we follow a fee guide, and then the government insurance has its own fee guide. And so there's this whole back and forth about, difference in the fee guide, but as a dentist, from my point of view, yeah, that's a bit stressful sometimes, because like the fee guide is different, and most times these patients don't understand.
Right.
But I look at the positive side of it, in the sense that I see, like, I'm beginning to have much, much older patients who have lost their teeth and they could not afford a denture, for example, but now
Hmm.
they can. So I think that's a huge plus. And I feel like if we probably had something similar, similar structure in Nigeria, I feel like more people would probably take that dental care seriously.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel so too. Because I remember that those days, one of the one of the identities or one of the things that you can use to predict a grandma or a grandpa
Denture. I'm missing teeth.
is missing teeth. Like three, four are gone. But now
Yes.
there are people in their 80s
Mm-hmm.
with healthy smile,
Mm-hmm.
clean teeth,
Mm-hmm.
white as snow.
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh wow, I really feel for those people that
Mm-hmm.
came in those years and didn't have access to good
So dental
dental
care.
care.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you age faster.
Oh, of course, because yeah, it also affects your standard of living, just in
Yeah,
general. Because, for example, like maybe, and then like all your life you've been eating meat, or you've been eating certain
that's
things,
true.
and then suddenly you can't anymore because
More,
you have only one tooth that is there, or it affects your standard of living. And then it's just thinking of it from the aesthetic standpoint, like you have one tooth left, you don't have one teeth, you wouldn't even want to open your mouth and
mouth.
smile. You know,
Self-esteem is gone.
self-esteem is gone. So, and that's why I said, for me, I feel like that's the positive side of even the government insurance that we have here, because
Yeah,
like now you see older people who can get dentures, they're happy. They come in, they're so excited.
dated. You
They're
can
so excited,
imagine.
you know? So
Yeah,
I wish and I pray and I hope that we can have something like that in Nigeria. Because I feel like more people would then, because it's like, okay, you don't have to pay for it, or you don't have to pay as much, when
yeah,
you go for your dental care. I think it would really be helpful, but let's hope that happens.
yeah.
Let's
Let's
hope that
hope it
happens.
happens. There's a lot of
Yeah.
investment that is required. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, we need to talk about the number of dentists versus the population,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
tools to
Mm-hmm.
equip, and all those
Yeah.
things. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
We hope we get it someday.
We hope
You made a
so. That'd be nice.
point. Yeah, you made a point about patients not being so patient and
Mm-hmm.
respectful versus the experience you had in Nigeria. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think that experience cut across every dentist, or do you think
Hmm.
because you are a colored dentist?
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I would say that it definitely cuts across everyone. But of course, like depending on your race and the color of your skin, I feel like your experiences might be more or less. But, just in general, like I feel like people in North America in general, because they've been provided with the basic things, they sometimes you might have a larger number of people being very entitled,
Hmm.
because it's like, oh, our government provides for this and that and that and
Yeah,
that.
they've been
So
indulged
I
for a
should
long
let
time.
me do exactly, that's right. As opposed to in Nigeria, where you don't even have access to basic stuff. So when you come in and see your dental profession, your
It's
dentist,
a
and then you
privilege.
come, it's a privilege, it's a privilege. So it's just a different mindset. And I think even in Nigeria, it cuts across everything, where you're just grateful for the little that you have.
I know.
You understand? So here I feel like it's just a general thing.
Okay.
Of course, depending on your race, the color of your skin, yeah, your differences might be slightly different. For example, like when I was in the US, because I started to work in the student clinic, you just have people just being aggressive towards you.
Hmm.
And because I grew up in Nigeria, I didn't really catch on to what exactly was going on. Because to me, I don't see color. I don't expect to see me differently because of the color of my skin, because of how we grew up. Like everyone is equal, nobody's different. You have the mindset of I'm a queen. You understand? So I didn't really catch on to what exactly was going on. So, until I started sharing my experiences with my other colleagues who were also
Going
black,
through the same.
yeah, and they were like, yeah, they experienced the same thing too. And then, they some of them were even already American. Some of them were American, so
Hmm.
they were used to it, and so they were now telling me like, oh, this is what we experience in the
Yeah.
healthcare field, just being a person of color, you know. So then I would say that from that point forward, like I said, I was already sensitized, and then I said, noticing those things.
Hmm.
But honestly, like that doesn't even bother me because at the end of the day, you're cheating yourself out of a service
Exactly.
because I know what I bring. I know, just like you said, I put my heart in everything that I do. Like, yeah, I mean, like I'm a perfectionist. That's the word. And so I never, like anyone who comes to my chair, I won't let you go until I'm satisfied with
Right.
the work, So you're cheating yourself out of that experience. It's your choice and it's okay. But of course, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't, it definitely crossed my mind once or twice, like, oh, this is probably like just unique to me. But I also think that when people meet immigrant dentists, like you could be not even maybe not even black, like you could be from any country. I feel like the treatment is probably slightly different
Hmm.
because you find people like when I was in the US, I'll find people telling me, oh, they can't hear what I'm saying. I'm speaking, oh, I'm speaking. In fact, they can't hear what I'm saying. I remember one of my colleagues then, one of her patients told her that he couldn't hear what she was saying and that she should bring someone who
You
speaks
can speak
English or something like,
English.
you know. And I was just like, wow, that is so rude. So I know, yeah, for sure. People will probably treat immigrants differently because the thing is that you can always tell who is truly Canadian and who
Yeah.
is probably an immigrant. You can tell. So I'm sure some people probably come in, wanting to treat you differently because you're an immigrant, but that doesn't bother me.
Awesome. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you
Thank you.
for thank you for creating healthy smiles and
Thank you.
and giving people hope and
Mm,
helping their self-esteem to grow.
yeah, yeah.
It's a remarkable job. Awesome.
No, we try. We try.
Okay, moving on. So now let's talk about something. Let's move on to dental hygiene, and
Okay.
I just want some people to get more education. Even me, I'm looking forward to hearing it from you. Like,
Okay,
what are
good.
some things that you think we how should I even put the question? Okay, so let's start by saying, are there any dental hygiene myths that people still believe in?
Oh, yes, now. I would say, excuse me, I'll probably say maybe the most common is people believing that, so the people that believe that when they clean their teeth, it makes their teeth weaker. Like I've met patients who say things like, oh, the cleaning broke my feeling or something like that. Maybe like they've had a thing done from another office, so and then my hygienist cleans, and then they're wanting to blame the hygienist. What a lot of people don't understand is, first of all, nobody uses force when they clean your teeth. We use an ultrasonic scaler, and you know, you're moving with light touches, right? So the amount of pressure that the hygienist is using cannot make your teeth weaker and
Mm-hmm.
cannot break off your filling. Your filling already had a problem. And then a lot of people don't understand that, the teeth is quite strong. So you can't just get like your teeth can't just become weak from just cleaning. What most likely happens is, they've had this large piece of calculus in the mouth, like maybe in between the teeth, and then it's cleaned off, and then suddenly they start feeling that gap that was covered up by the calculus, and then suddenly they start feeling like maybe their teeth is weaker or slimmer, just weird assumptions, right? So I feel like that's one myth. that a lot of people have. Maybe when people within my family too, they're like, oh, cleaning makes my teeth, or they start saying things like, oh, suddenly that became sensitive after cleaning. But it's like, it didn't suddenly become sensitive. You already had an exposure on your tooth that was probably covered by calculus. And so now that that has been
That's
lifted off,
removed.
you are not having the exposure. And suddenly it's
Mm.
like, oh, my hygienist did that. And then trust me, I always defend my hygienist. Like, no, you're not going to put this on my hygienist. I'm going to educate you and then let you understand that, no, this is not what happened. This is what happened. So that's probably one recurring myth that I still find even till today in 2025.
2025. Okay, this has been
People are still
quite
like
enlightening.
believing. Yeah.
This has been quite enlightening. I know someone who has never cleaned his teeth before because
Are you
of
for real?
this reason.
Wow.
Well educated, but he says, no, if you do this, the teeth will be weak. Okay, best of luck. Right, thank you for sharing all that. Very educating.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else am I going to ask you before letting you go?
Okay.
Um, I just want to make the best. I don't want you to spill everything,
Okay.
but I just wanted to touch on how often should we see our dentist?
Uh, so across the board, I would say at least every 6 months.
Okay.
But the thing is, you now have to tailor it to your basic dental needs. So, for example, if you're someone who maybe just prone to cavities, I would say maybe every 3 months. If you're someone who maybe smokes, takes a lot of coffee, I would say every 3 months. Your dentist, your
Okay.
hygienist, every 3 months. Because they're lifestyle decisions that you make
Hmm.
can either help your dental care or make it worse. So at that point, yeah, I'll probably say you have to maybe do every 3 months. But across the board, I'll say 6 months, at least every 6 months. You should be coming in to do a dental checkup, a dental cleaning, things like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
I have one more question for you
Okay.
before before letting you go. So, and the reason why I want to ask this question is because okay, let me skip that one. Let me
Um,
skip that question for now. So,
okay.
what legacy do you hope to leave behind, not just as a dentist, but as an immigrant
Mhm.
woman who has made it through? Because it's been a journey for you. You've been studying for almost a decade.
I've been studying all my life.
All your life. Yeah, that reminds me. My younger sister is in the UK. Sometimes she just tells me that, you know what? I've been studying all my life. And she's still
Literally.
studying. It's such
Yeah.
a demanding profession.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is
Kudos to you
very, very
guys.
demanding. Thank you. We try. What legacy do I want to leave behind? I'll probably say I hope that, anyone who hears my story, is inspired, I hope that, my story, my life's journey, everything is able to inspire resilience, inspire ambition, and just mindset that whatever you set your mind to, you can definitely achieve it. And then just understanding the position of grace. I'm a Christian and
Hmm.
I can never overemphasize that just the grace of God kept me true, kept me
Hmm.
going. Because, of course, there are times when I would want to give up, but God just kept pushing me. So, because it's been a long journey, like I rightly told you, it's been a long journey. I've had to navigate many challenges, starting over. I hope that someone looks at my story, my journey, and says that, what, it's proof that barriers can be broken. Barriers can be broken, you can overcome barriers, and dreams can also come true. And I hope that someone is inspired today to know that you can walk into rooms that you don't feel like you
You
belong
belong
to,
to?
but you can walk into it. Because one thing, anyone that knows me personally, when I walk into a situation or into a room, best believe that I'm going to let everyone know that I belong there.
Hmm.
And more so now because you're in North America where people want to look down on you because of the color of your skin, where you come from, things like that. So I hope my story, my journey can help people believe and understand that as long as God has sent you to that room, you belong there and you better act like you know that you belong there. especially the ones that maybe people told them they'll never get there or they'll never reach there or they don't belong there, they'll never make it there, they'll never succeed. Best believe that as long as God sent you there, you belong there and you will make it there.
Wow, what a way to
Yeah.
close it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Dami, for being a thriving immigrant. I wish I
Thank
had
you.
physical flowers to give to you.
Ah!
Thank you for coming. Thank you for letting your light shine. And thank you
Yes.
for giving hope, not just to your
Yeah.
patients, but to people
Mm-hmm.
coming behind. I know
Yeah.
someone is listening to your story right now and
Yeah.
is inspired and is like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that means I can practice dentistry in Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How can we contact you? I know you are big on Instagram, but we've not been seeing you recently.
Well, I'm finally back on Instagram. Like I was
Okay.
telling you last week, like I'm slowly getting back into it because, I have to also acknowledge that, my life has become busier.
Yeah.
And so I prioritize things. But I'm finally back because I enjoy creating content. And because I also see that there's a huge gap between those that are trying to get into dentistry here and those that have made it.
Hmm.
I feel like there's a huge gap. And so that's one of the reasons why I started creating content just to reach that gap.
Yeah.
Of course, now my content has like changed a little bit because now I'm in a different space in my life. But I'm back on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Dr. Dami. Sometimes I feature on TikTok too when I
Okay.
have
For
time.
the Gen Zs,
I think my TikTok is probably Dr. Dami as well. That's to tell you how
how unfamiliar you are with this space.
I believe my TikTok is also Dr. Dami, but I know for sure on Instagram, that's where people reach out to me the most. I still find people who like reach out to me for mentorship, ask questions and things like that. I try not to take on anyone as an official mentee
Okay.
just because I won't have the time,
I see.
So but when I can, I answer questions and things and like that. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is where we are going to call it a day. It's
Okay.
been it's been a very interesting conversation with Dr. Dami. Dami,
Mm.
the only dentist that I know in Canada. Thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you.
to you listening to me right now, thank you for tuning in. If you found this episode insightful, please feel free to share with anyone and
Mm,
subscribe to the podcast. Till I
mm,
come your way again, stay thriving and have a good one.
okay. Bye.
Bye.